All right, guys, today we're going to be checking out the Butterfly Wonderland here in Scottsdale. Really awesome spot, and actually the employees here gave me a tour of the place. So we're going to see some behind the scenes footage of the different areas and the different butterflies and the reptiles that they actually have. Really cool footage. This is going to be a full tour, so a little bit longer, but a lot of good details, a lot of good information. Okay guys, this is BANANAMAN and we're here at the Butterfly Wonderland. Something, if you look up on Scottsdale, like the top 10 things to do, one of the things that is always recommended is the Butterfly Wonderland. It's just something to do. It's a good daytime activity. You know, it's a little bit gray outside today, so it's not a very nice hiking or outdoor day. So I figured let's do some stuff indoors. So the Butterfly Wonderland is at the Arizona Boardwalk. And apparently at this Arizona Boardwalk, they have the Addis Aquarium, the Butterfly Wonderland, the Mirror Maze, Pangea Dinosaurs, Ripley's Believe It or Not, or Surprise Your Eyes. So it sounds like it's this big, looks like a big mall. It's this big outdoor area, and it's got a lot of different things to it. So today, we're gonna be checking out the Butterfly Wonderland, seeing if it's a cool thing to do while you're in Scottsdale, seeing if the kids will like it, and just giving you an idea of what to do. And as always, I go to these spots by myself, so it's something. The BANANAMAN suit is a little bit weird, but you know what, there's a lot of the times whenever I feel like people are scared to go out there and do things by themselves. So you know what, if I can go out to these areas, I have to do a different city or state like every 4 months. If I could go out to these areas and go by myself on these little solo dates in a banana suit, I think you guys can go out to eat by yourself, or you guys can, you know, go explore the area by yourself. I've heard some people are like, don't feel comfortable being by themselves and going out and doing things. Well, you know what, if I can do it in a banana suit, you can do it too. All right guys, so let's check out the Butterfly Wonderland. So I went ahead and just bought the deal package where you could do all 5 attractions. It's like a bundle deal. But today we'll still do the Butterfly Wonderland, and then sometime next week I'll do the other ones. All right, let's check it out. I'm at the Butterfly Wonderland, so.
Oh, is that what you're doing?
I have a YouTube channel, so I serve and bartend, and to make the best money as a server bartender, I go to winter spots. I go to a different city or state like every 4 months. So in wintertime, I either go like South Beach or Vail, Colorado, or Scottsdale, or you know, in summertime I do like Martha's Vineyard or Destin, Florida. And since I go to all these spots, I was like, it's called Servin' and Swervin'. But it's like, instead of saying I go to Banana Wonderland, it's like BANANAMAN goes to Wonderland. Okay. So like if you wait like 3 days and type in BANANAMAN Butterfly Wonderland, this video will pop up. You know, obviously give me like 3 or 4 days to do it all, but
Butterflies love fruit.
Perfect.
I know. I said, where's Derek? Derek, are you in there? I'm going to call Derek the entomologist.
Oh yeah.
He will tell you in back there how the butterflies love fruit, and if they land on you, you are going to. Oh my God, he's a banana, and the butterflies love fruit.
I told you it's a banana.
This is our entomologist. It's a YouTube channel.
A banana just walked in.
Yeah.
You don't have to get any fruit today for the butterflies.
Right?
Well, I will be here, and I will be able. I'm at your disposal.
Okay.
But,
Oh my God, if butterflies land on him, it's going to be hysterical.
yeah.
It really is.
Well, I've heard a lot of good things about this place and this whole area, you know, because like I was telling them, I go to a different spot like every 4 months.
Oh,
and
my goodness.
and you know, I hear this, you know, I just do like the main tourist attraction things to do. So, you know, I've always heard the Butterfly Wonderland's a cool spot, you know, and the whole boardwalk. So I bought all the tickets, so I'll come back this whole week. So you'll probably see the banana like 3 or 4 times.
3 or 4 times.
Monday through Friday, maybe.
I'll make sure to come on a sunny day.
On a sunny day. Okay, I'll make sure to come on a sunny day. But that's why I thought, I was like, you know what, it is a rainy day. So I was like, you know what, it'll be nice to go inside too. But,
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
We're cool.
Yeah, so this is, and would you like to sort of walk
I'd
back?
love to, man. Yeah.
Okay. So this is Butterfly Wonderland. We are actually the largest butterfly exhibit in the United States. And so each week we get somewhere around 1,000 chrysalises and from all over the world, but primarily Central America and also a good portion from the United States and Asia. They come in and we actually sort of take them on a little bit of a progression. on over here, we actually have our 3D Flight of the Monarch movie on over through here, so definitely catch that.
I will.
And over in here is actually going to be our Emergence Gallery. And so what we do is when we get the chrysalises in, because due to USDA regulations, we're not allowed to breed all the butterflies that we need ourselves.
Okay.
So instead, what we'll do is we'll order them from suppliers all over the world, and they come on in, and what we do is we sort them out, we log them, and then we'll glue them up onto the shelves, like what you see here. So the important thing is to make sure that they're hanging upside down through this process, because when butterflies first emerge, their wings are all wrinkled up because they have to fit into the chrysalis. And so in order to get them so that their wings can expand fully, they need the help of gravity. They do have the ability to pump, basically what it is their version of blood on over into their wings, but it's not a very strong pumping mechanism. So they need gravity to give them that extra little bit of help, which is why we tend to hang them upside down, so that when they emerge, they can use gravity to get their wings to expand fully.
Cool.
Oh, that's what the braid is.
And these are all the different stages?
These are all different species. So,
Because I see there's some real big ones over there, huh?
yeah, so over here are going to be our moth cocoons.
Moth cocoons.
Yeah, and so everybody tends to be pretty familiar with a butterfly chrysalis, where the only silk that they spin is basically what they need to attach them onto a plant. A number of moths, what they'll do instead is they'll actually kind of find a space in amongst leaves, and then they'll use silk to sew the leaves together into kind of this tight-knit thing. And this is the cocoon that they spin while they're doing that. Now, when they prepare the cocoons for shipment, what they'll typically do is remove those leaves so that the only thing you're shipping is the cocoon itself. But the big papery looking ones are going to be the Atlas moths, and there's actually an Atlas moth male right down there.
Wow.
Atlas moths are one of the largest moths in the world. And that one is actually a little bit on the small side because that one is a male, and males are smaller than females are.
Cool.
We also have an African moon moth right down there.
Oh, wow. I wouldn't even have recognized it. That's good camouflage right there.
Yeah. And so the big papery ones are going to be the Atlas moths. The smaller, almost silvery ones are going to be the moon moths. And then we have some fairly small golden ones. That's a species that hasn't emerged just quite yet.
Oh, wow.
But you can see on one of the silvery ones for the moon moths, you can actually see some of the leaves still stuck on there.
Yeah, definitely. Cool.
Yeah, so over the course of the year, we'll probably receive 100 to 200 different species of butterflies and moths. And we'll prepare them all there. It tends to be a little bit of a grab bag as to what we're going to receive. Sometimes we don't even know until we, occasionally even when we open the box, but typically we get a list of what's coming prior to them arriving.
Awesome.
And so as we head on in, so these butterfly exhibits are actually USDA containment facilities. And what the USDA really wants to make sure happens, or doesn't happen, is to make sure that the butterflies and anything that may come with the butterflies stays inside this area. They don't want to have any chance of any of these butterflies getting out and changing native ecosystems.
That's a good point, yeah.
So in order to prevent that, these have to operate in a certain way. And one of those is that as we head into this next room, this is kind of the entrance vestibule, and this acts as an airlock. Yeah, and so we have rules to help have the most enjoyable experience over here, and I have to bring my volume back down.
Yeah.
But you'll notice that there's two doors, and this is to serve as an airlock, where both of these doors can't be open at the same time. And that allows it so that if you open this door over here and a butterfly does try to fly on in, it's not getting any further than this door.
Nice, makes sense.
And so these rooms are also specially constructed to provide as little space for the butterflies to hide or get away from an easy recapture. And you'll even notice right on over in the corner, there's a net right there.
Just in case.
Just in case. You can never be too careful. And so this is the conservatory itself. It's a little bit of a cloudy day, so it's not quite as active, though it's still decently active because it's fairly warm. We tend to have a little bit of a range of different activity where different butterflies will hang out in different spots. You'll tend to see that there's certain species that tend to love this area over here. Things like the large blue morphos with the iridescent blue wings. We also make sure that we have enough food for everybody. So these fruit dishes, especially in tropical areas, butterflies will tend to specialize in on only eating fruit because in tropical areas, fruit is available all year round. Areas will only eat fruit. In fact, everything you see in there, with the exception of these clippers, so ones like this butterfly right here, they'll sometimes feed from flowers as well, but all the rest of them will primarily feed just from fruit trays.
It's so cool.
We also have over here, this orange stuff. What we do here is actually going to be, it's Powerade. And so what we'll do is we'll take Powerade and we'll mix it either with a little bit of sugar or honey.
Powerade, like the energy drink.
Exactly.
Okay,
exactly,
I was making
like
sure I was hearing that right. All right, cool.
And so we'll put it in with, sometimes you'll hear it described as like soil moist. It's a type of compound that actually absorbs water, just like what diapers can sometimes be filled with. And it's non-toxic, it's completely safe to consume. And what it does is it absorbs all of that up so that we can have it like this and it's still moist on the inside without everything pouring out of the holes that we've made for the butterflies to drink from.
Cool.
As we move on over this way, we start, so this is Caliandra, it's a powder puff tree, and these are really great because butterflies tend to love going to all of these flowers. And it tends to be very popular with the butterflies. I don't know how popular it is with people.
We're worried about the butterflies here, huh?
I'm well, being the entomologist, I'm pretty heavily interested in what the butterflies are doing. And you can see some of the other flowering plants here with the butterflies visiting them.
And are the butterflies, you think, a little bit more used to human interaction rather than out there in the wild? So they're a little bit more friendly or a little bit come up to you a little bit more than they would naturally? Or do you think it's about the same?
They're probably a little bit less likely to fly away just as quickly. And actually, you have one right on the tip of your banana right there.
Do I still have it?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. BANANAMAN and Butterfly Wonderland.
And so this is actually kind of an interesting spot. A lot of butterflies, as they're getting ready to roost, especially long-winged butterflies like this one right here, what they'll do is they'll find the tip of a branch that's hanging low, preferably a very small branch, and then they'll all start to cluster together like that. And they'll actually spend the night together in a group.
Because that's what you see a lot of the pictures, the videos of whenever you see the butterflies. It's kind of all collected together in the certain spots in the tropics, you know, where the National Geographic pictures of them all hanging together.
Yeah, and so longwings are kind of unique in their tendency to do that in larger groups. We have kind of a little bit of two areas. We have the lower area back there, and we actually have some fish. We have some free-ranging chickens in here. Nice. As well as some tanagers and a mannequin. So some small flying birds are in here, as well as our two Serama chickens. And actually, there's one right up over there. That's Fern over there. She's the darker one.
Yeah. I'm gonna press that.
So there's Fern over there, just sort of wandering around. Daisies over here sitting in the dirt. That tends to be one of their favorite things to do, is just take a little bit of a dust bath sometimes. And you can see that we actually have a variety of plants to try to attract the butterflies on down. Butterflies do tend to be drawn most heavily on over toward flowers with reds and pinks and purples, not as much on the whites, although it can depend on the type of plant. We have a nice overlook on over back towards the front of the conservatory, and this actually ends up being one of our most photographed areas. So this is actually our koi pond that we're looking down on right now. We have a whole bunch of koi that are in there, and for the life of me, I can't remember all the different types of koi. I'm a butterfly guy, not a fish guy. But we also have a ripsaw catfish who's down there helping clean up after the koi.
Nice.
So there's another fruit dish with everybody kind of hanging out, eating their fill.
Do you know how many calories a butterfly eats in a day?
You know, I don't know the answer to that, but that would be a very interesting question. In fact, that guy thought you were a banana.
Yeah.
If you were, well, from my vantage point, you could actually see where he was actually extending out his proboscis to see whether or not.
Oh, really? He was tasting me?
Yeah, he was.
Nice,
Absolutely.
nice.
And so over in here, we have our arachnid areas. And we've got a little bit of glare right now, which isn't great. So maybe this isn't a part that makes the final cut. But
No, yeah, exactly.
Our red slate ornamental tarantula in here. This is a species that, this one is captive bred, but in the wild it's actually under quite a bit of threat because of habitat loss and sometimes even people illegally obtaining them for the pet trade.
Mm.
And back on over this way, there's another one of the powder puffs getting a lot of love from, and those are actually cattle heart butterflies right there. They're a type of swallowtail. So I mentioned that we had the emergence case. Well, about twice a day, what we'll do is we'll collect up the butterflies that have emerged in the emergence cases. We'll place them into a container just like this, and then just leave it on in here so that the butterflies can fly on out when they're ready.
So right now they're just kind of, they just came out of their cocoon and they're just like feeling their wings out and figuring out how to fly and get around and everything?
Yeah, so all these butterflies actually emerged this morning.
Really?
Or at some point today.
That is interesting. These all emerged today.
Yeah.
And they're in here learning how to move their wings and just kind of getting acclimated a little bit?
Yeah, usually it's sort of getting to a point where they have the energy and their wings are ready for flight.
Okay,
so
that's cool.
A lot of these still have yet to fly for the first time.
Awesome.
And then so here's the koi pond down low. And over here is Byron. Byron is actually our fish guy.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Just doing a little bit of feeding.
How often do you feed the fish?
We usually feed them once a day.
Once a day?
A little bit extra today because they've been being good.
Some good.
What?
Is there really a reason?
What makes for a badly behaved fish?
Yeah.
Overfeeding? No. No. They can get a little bit ornery if you feed them all the time, but.
And do you know what all species of koi there are in here?
We have a variety in here. I know some of them. I mean, they all abide by the same rules of care and that kind of stuff. So
Oh, yeah?
Ornamental carp, they're all Technically cold water fish, but they thrive from a really wide range of temperatures, from really cold all the way to like pretty hot.
Cool.
So, but as far as like a particular species, we've got the butterfly koi right here, which makes sense to have in here. Some of the longer fins over here.
The butterfly koi.
Yep.
Nice.
And then we got the golden one over here that's supposed to bring good luck to businesses. So
The golden.
a little extra.
The golden koi is good luck to the businesses.
Yep.
Nice. So we have some butterfly koi and some gold koi.
Get the golden one.
The golden koi.
Okay, yeah, the golden one, the actual name is Asagi. And then we got the Agaroma and the Pacu. Those are like the bulk of what we've got. Hoover, he's a paratrooping cactus. Otherwise known as a ripsaw cactus.
Where's that?
See the
Oh
outline
wow,
on the
he is
bottom.
big, huh?
Yeah.
But he likes to sleep over there. Sometimes I can get him to come up by offering some food. But these guys are probably going to swarm me. You guys go over there. We'll see if we can get Hoover to come up. Hoover. Yeah.
Now, it's important to note that Byron is an employee of
Yes.
Butterfly Wonderland,
Yes.
and it's okay for him to put his hand in the pond.
Here we go.
I'll make sure to point that out.
Yes. Do not try at home or so on and so forth. Here we go.
Oh wow.
There we go. It takes a little bit of time in between bites, but when he does it, he does a big slurp. All right, come here. But Hoover was from our Pacu exhibit, which is back inside. But he started getting a little too big. Come here, buddy. Here we go.
Hoover.
Yep. There we go.
Nice. Yeah, Hoover. Nice.
Yeah, they get real big.
So many butterflies right now.
Yeah. Do they keep trying to taste me?
They do.
Nice.
Butterfly on your banana.
So what I figure is that we'll probably kind of do this guided tour through the whole place.
Yeah.
And then you can come on back and spend as long as you want getting however much footage that you want.
I'd love that. That's perfect.
Cool. Then we'll actually, since Byron's right here, we'll continue holding on to him.
Cool.
And so as we're exiting out, this is where we make sure to check ourselves in the mirror and all around to make sure that there are no butterflies trying to come out with us. Oh, in fact.
Oh, busted.
They were like, that's not a real banana.
Yeah.
Oh wait, are you exit?
I am at exit right now.
Okay, then do you mind taking them up from here?
Yeah, are we doing reptile and tropical?
Or at least it's fine with me.
Okay.
That's what she'll say.
Alright, I will be right back.
Yeah, cool.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Alright, right this way. So this is the cafe where you can get a little snack, chillax. Sometimes it gets a little warm in the conservatory because it's kept at tropical temperatures. Alright, this is our Rainforest Reptiles, which usually you go next and it loops around. But I'm thinking I'll show you my section that I take care of, and then we'll grab the reptile specialist, Lindsay. So we'll go through here real quick. This is our spineless giants exhibit, which we have different larger insects like these Madagascar hissing cockroaches. Nice and lovely, right?
Lovely.
We got other guys over here, the jungle nymphs, which are really gigantic insects. They're really cool. The females are the bright green ones. The males are these more camouflaged little guys. And then over here, we got the spiny devil sticks. Let's see if we can find one. Got some big females down here. There's the female, and I believe that this should be a male because it has the bigger spikes on the back of its legs, actually.
So you could tell the male from the female because it has bigger spikes?
Yes.
Nice.
Yep. And then more roaches, but a different type, the cave roaches. So that's what we got right now. This is actually kind of like a changing exhibit every few months. And we'll change it out with some different insects. They kind of rotate.
That's good to know. So every few months we'll kind of switch it out. So that's awesome. So that way you keep coming back and learning about different insects. That's awesome.
Sometimes we got different types of beetles, or sometimes we'll go into more like arachnids, like different tarantulas, scorpions, that kind of stuff. So always something different every few months. Okay, so this is kind of my domain over here. This is tropical waters. Sign over here. Obviously that infers that this is mainly tropical in here, and that ties in with the rainforest, with the butterflies and everything. So, and the insects and the reptiles that you'll see. So here we got the living reefs exhibit. This is one that I kind of started from the ground up. This used to be a freshwater exhibit, but then we converted it because we wanted a little bit more variety. So this is all custom made rock work that we put together. All of these plant-like organisms are corals, soft corals in particular. And so they're real, they're alive, and they help create a more diverse ecosystem for all these reef fish in here. So yeah, all of these guys are tropical from different reefs around the world. And it's all just kind of mixed together in here. We got like little tiny hermit crabs in there. If you can see all the way back there.
Oh yeah, I see them.
And then different fish that do different kind of things, all the way to Nemo. We got Nemo in the back, which of course is a clownfish.
Oh, definitely.
If there's one thing you should learn coming away from here is it's called a clownfish. It's not just Nemo, right? You'll notice one of them is colored black, and that is a particular breed of clownfish. It's similar to the orange one, but just bred for the blackness, because nowadays they're actually captive bred and raised, the clownfish, so it's very sustainable. Okay. And they're not, these two are actually paired off. The larger black one is the female, the smaller one's the male. They both start out male, but the more dominant ones become female over time. So it's kind of an interesting phenomenon.
That is.
Yep. They didn't tell you that? Okay, so just to go real quick through the stuff, most of it's kind of regional. So African Great Lakes, these are freshwater, mainly African cichlids and cuckoo catfish. And so these guys, they establish territories. That's where you can see all these dugout areas. The fish do that themselves, moving the pebbles around. And then kind of call it the Game of Thrones exhibit, because they're always kind of establishing territories, and they kind of have disputes and stuff like that. That's very well known with African cichlids, so they need a good amount of space.
It's just like humans, almost. Yep. Dude, that's crazy.
Exactly, and a lot of these guys were born in here, especially the little catfish. The cuckoo catfish are unique because they replace their eggs with the cichlids' eggs during breeding, and then the cichlids unknowingly raise those eggs as their own, and so that's where all these little catfish come from. It's even more personal because cichlids keep eggs in their mouths. So they spit out baby catfish instead of baby cichlids. All right, and here, this is rivers of the Amazon. We've got our silver dollars, which are usually mistaken for piranhas. They are related to piranhas, but they are a different species of fish. These guys have been here since this place opened, so they have some seniority in here. This real big guy is a clown knife fish. Now, technically, these guys originated in Southeast Asia, but they've been widespread throughout the world, including places like South America, and even the United States. Florida actually has an issue with these guys now. They are the most introduced fish in the world at this point.
Interesting.
Yep. So an invasive species is another word for that.
Yeah.
But they're really cool. This is a special Plecostomus hiding under there, or a suckerfish, algae eater. That one's a watermelon Plecostomus. And that's pretty much all we got room for here, because these guys actually get another foot or two.
Oh wow.
So chances are this one won't grow that much more, but we like to make sure we have space where it can. Here we've got some more South American fish like pink-tailed chalceus, dusky narrow hatchet fish, or giant hatchet fish, which are way bigger than the ones that you may see at pet stores. The little ones that are about an inch big. These ones get closer to 10 inches or so. So they're getting up there. A few different guys. These guys are always popular. The blood parrot cichlids, where they're actually a hybrid fish. It usually takes a, let's see, a red devil cichlid with a severum cichlid or a red-headed cichlid. So yeah, they're kind of an interesting one. They're a mishmash of genetics and very popular for that cute little face.
Yeah.
They're kind of like a squished tangerine, which is, of course, is adorable. This one is kind of the freshwater equivalent of that first one that we saw. So we got the living reefs over there, and this is live plants in here, freshwater once again. And we got lots of little Farlowella catfish in here right now, or maybe not so little, and they've reproduced quite a bit in here, which is cool. We've got like little baby ones here, like this guy.
Oh wow, look at the difference.
Yep. So all those, we have several rounds of those guys. And yeah, it's quite overgrown at the moment. I'm gonna be doing some gardening, but it's actually kind of brag worthy because you don't usually see a lot of live plants in the public aquarium setting. They're a little bit more difficult to take care of because they require CO2, carbon dioxide injecting and diffusing into the water, and special lights, supplements, and stuff like that. But it's cool to have, and it kind of turns into a giant nursery for the baby fish. So they've been reproducing like crazy in here. All right, my two personal favorites are Pearl and Opal, the giant gouramis. And they're the largest of the gourami species, or any of the labyrinth fishes, which are fish that have a special organ called the labyrinth organ. They, of course, can also breathe underwater, but the breathing of the air adapted from them, coming from kind of more still waters in Southeast Asia that are low oxygen content.
Really?
And so they can take a breath just like a betta fish, which they're actually related to,
Okay.
and do that. So yeah, these guys are very old too. They're in their, I would say, mid-30s. They're at least in their 30s.
These are in their 30s?
Yep, because they came from a pet store that I used to work at, that they were used as display fish for roughly 15, 20 years or so. It's hard to get an exact date, but at least 15 years.
Awesome.
And then they've been here for quite some time, so, and it takes a while to get that big, and they were already that big. So got the different rainbow fish in here, some clown loaches, and then we've got these guys over here, the Denison barbs with the kind of laser stripe going through them. So yep, we got and that's Southeast Asia. All those guys are region specific. These giant guys, the river monsters, we named that exhibit off of the show River Monsters because they were featured in there. And this is the black Pacu, is what it's actually called. Also a relative of the piranha, but a little bit less fearsome in their native waters. They actually eat fruits, veggies, nuts, and seeds. They really like nuts and seeds.
Really?
Every once in a while we'll drop some in there along with their regular food. We chop up a lot of fruits and veggies for these guys as well. So try and keep it more natural. And a lot of these guys were donations that came from really small tanks that they outgrew. It's another case of fish that are available in the pet trade that get really big, and then, you know, they have to be released somewhere or something like that. So they become an invasive species around the world as well. He says, I'm an invasive species. But no, they're really nice. They're actually really super sweet, and also one of my favorites in here. They're cool.
Yeah, cool. They
like
are.
them a lot.
Yes, they are.
So yep. And then we got, oh, she came out. We have a blue spotted masquerade that likes to hide right now. Yep, she says nope. But she frequents around. Got the silver monos. The one that thinks he's a silver mono is a twin-barred rabbit fish.
Does he hangs with the herd, huh? So he's adopted their lifestyle.
Yep, pretty much. He forced himself in there. And the rabbit fish has mildly venomous spines on its dorsal fin on the back. So if those guys try and kick him out of the school, he just flashes those spines and they're like, okay, fine, you can be in there.
No way, really?
There's the stingray showing off again. So yeah, this is a special one because it's got the blue spots and the black mask. And she came from a friend of the curator back in the day. She used to live in a doctor's office, I believe.
Oh, nice.
And now she's got a nice 1,200 gallon.
Good, good.
And then there's a dude Oh, where'd he go? Here he is. They're all coming out for you. We got a mini Addis grouper. And that guy's a lot of fun. Usually groupers are kind of like big garbage disposals. They'll eat whatever you throw in there, and they're real ornery and everything. This guy's actually the opposite. He's very polite and shy, and he's developed that during feeding time, his habit is he'll go up and take one bite out of the food that I pour in there, and then he'll go back to his spot and let everybody else have it.
So each fish you think has its own little personality or something?
Absolutely. Absolutely they do, yeah. Indy, which is her name, Indigo, is probably one of the biggest divas that we got here. So she knows that she's the star of this aquarium.
Oh goodness, look at her though.
And
She is
milks
pretty.
it for all it's worth. So right now she's looking for food because it's getting close to feeding time.
Okay.
And so she gets real demanding and kind of pounds the sand over here. There you go. And then last but not least, we got the observation pool in the center with more stingrays, different types of stingray. I'm not sure how well this will show up on camera because we got the actinic blue lights kind of setting the mood in here. But we have 5 rounds of stingrays and a horn shark, California horn shark right there. It looks like a catfish, but it's a bottom-dwelling species of shark.
Oh, wow.
And it's got a little white horn in front of each dorsal fin on the back. And that's a protection front dorsal spine.
Cool.
The stingrays, of course, have their stinging barbs on the tail. We don't clip the stingrays here because it's not a touch pool. So the barbs just freely grow on the tail. It's still not extremely dangerous as long as you don't try and tackle the stingray, because they only use it in self-defense as a last line of defense. They can whip their tail around. But once again, just an observation pool. We don't like sticking hands in there. There's other places you can go where they clip the stingray barbs and you can touch the stingrays. But here we kind of like to keep things all natural.
Which I'm sure the stingrays like that, huh?
They do. It's better for water quality and just overall quality, especially in a pool this size. This is 1,800 gallons. Other places have really large pools generally that you can touch the stingrays in. But it's just a personal choice that we made, and I stand behind it. And that concludes everything in this room, and we'll take you on the reptiles next.
Awesome, thank you.
No problem. Chris, nice to meet you.
Banana Man.
Banana Man. So this for you. All right, so here we're in reptiles. I'm going to be showing you around here as well. So we're just going to kind of do a quick run around of the different guys that we got. Here in reptiles, we've kind of got a series of different examples of creatures from around the world, similar to what we did in tropical waters, but in more, different size enclosures. As you can see here, this one's really cool, the tokay gecko, because they actually lay eggs in here, and we had, I think, 17 babies the past year. So that's how they lay their eggs. They stick it against the side.
Oh my goodness.
And they pop out, and you got tiny little tokay geckos, and these are actually pretty ferocious guys. They have a really loud kind of scream they can make.
Really?
That you can hear at night, and they're pretty interesting.
That is.
Yep. You can take a look at all these little, here's, I'm not sure if you can see them in there, but there's babies in there somewhere. That's the thing about reptiles. Sometimes they just like to go chill out somewhere. Yep, we got our green tree python hanging out there, being antisocial right now. Here's one of my more favorite ones because I'm an aquatic guy. And so we got the golden thread turtles in here, also Chinese water dragons, like that one hanging up there. It's funny because every once in a while you see this one do like a dive into the water. Nice. And they'll swim up, and they're fun. Let's see, this one's also a really popular one because of its cute face, the Asian vine snake. So even though it has this cute, unassuming face, it actually eats small lizards. So yeah, don't think that just because they're super cute, they're not ferocious. These guys are crazy.
Yeah, monitors are always real cool. Those are always in there.
Green tree monitor, there's another one up there. So they get one of the larger exhibits here because they get pretty big. So they're a lot of fun. They can also be little escape artists trying to get out, so they make sure that it's well put together.
Nice.
Here is another cool one. lots of nice colors with the different dart frogs. An interesting thing about dart frogs in captivity is they're not actually poisonous or toxic like they are in the wild, because in the wild they are eating insects that feed on toxic plants, and that in turn makes the frogs toxic. So actually these guys are actually somewhat handleable in here. Of course, you probably shouldn't be touching them, but
Yeah, that's,
you know.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
People are usually like, you know, oh my gosh, aren't you scared, or you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Because the poison dart frogs are one of the most famous types of frogs, would you say?
Yes, absolutely, especially for the colors, and they come in a lot of different colors.
Yeah, exactly.
There's some pretty large adults in here too, which is cool, because a lot of times we go to places and they just got a teeny tiny one.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's a nice feature. This is our largest display here in reptiles. We got some caiman in here, the dwarf caiman. So a little miniature crocodilian, but also quite the formidable predator when they decide to attack something. They can take a pretty good chomp out of it. So they stuff like small fish primarily is what they feed them here, silver sides and that kind of stuff. We also got some teeny tiny fish hanging out in here. Yep, mainly live bearers, so guppies and stuff like that. And then we got the red-eared sliders, a popular turtle. Cool. Over here on this side, we got two interesting guys. The first one up here, I guess we'll point out, the plumed basilisk. That one's a male because he's got more of the crest on the head, and then the female is somewhere in here, probably hiding. A little bit less extravagant looking than the male. Those guys are cool. And this is also the one I believe that can run across water that you see in videos sometimes, but he usually just chills out in here. He needs to build up momentum. And then this one over here that just kind of looks like a rotting piece of wood or something is also one of my favorites. It's a mata turtle. It's a very interesting looking turtle. I'm not sure if we can get that. The head is on this side. And they like to chill out most of the time. But the fun thing about the mata turtle is it's got this pretty long nose that it can stick out of the water when it wants to breathe. And it also, so, I'm trying to think of the best word. It's so unbecoming looking that in places where it is from, South America, they could be hunted as food, but they're not, because they're so kind of like not good looking. Yeah. And then, even though they look like they'd be rare, they're actually pretty abundant, because they look like they wouldn't be good to eat. All right, these guys, we've got our red-tailed boas, and I believe there's 2 in there right now. There might be 3 actually.
Oh wow! Yeah. So there's 3 in that bundle.
Yeah. I think they're kind of helping keep each other warm and everything, and just chilling out.
Nice.
And some of these guys, the brown anoles are somewhere in there. So a few of these displays, we have the multiple animals in there, and a lot of people are curious, like in here with the tomato frogs. We got the geckos up there, Madagascar day gecko. In some of the exhibits, we've got those guys paired with snakes and stuff like that, and people are like, "Can you do that? Like, do they?
No, that's a common
or anything?"
That's a common question.
Yeah. As long as you.
Yeah, that's a big
Yep,
boy.
the horned frog or Pac-Man frog. Those are just rich. Those guys are cool. Cuban night anoles, and then Jackson's chameleon over here. We normally have a panther chameleon, but I believe it's off exhibit right now. But that one's on its cool. People always like the chameleon. that one there's that yellow.
Oh wow.